Hello, today I would like to discuss the book Everybody Lies by author Seth Stevens Davidowitz. And in his book, he talks about big data, new data, and what the internet can tell us about who we really are. The author discusses in his book the four powers of big data. The first one would be offering new types of data, which means to reimagine what actually qualifies as data. Just because of its size is not the value that big data has, it's because of the different kinds of new information that can be collected and then be studied. And it's information that has not been collected previously and will show different behaviors, desires that are previously unknown. And this data can also help maybe to more quickly measure or address a situation. As an example, there's a Washington Post article which talked about turning data into knowledge. And the example was about the police department in North Carolina. Because of the big data, it created new insights for the police department, which helped then, because of the historical data and the relationships correlated to the violent situations, helped the department to much smarter allocate the resources and also resulted in a reduction of the violent crime in that area. Therefore, the big data was used to their advantage. Second, it can also serve as a digital truth serum. Because it's private, online, nobody else is administering a survey. Online resources usually get people to admit things that they would not admit to other people in person and be much more honest. An example from the book would be the example of racism, although people might not admit to this in person or in surveys. Google search results prove differently, and that racism is very much still alive to this day. Also, with the selection of Trump, an article by Smith discussed that although Trump's outrageous behavior and offensive statements in regards to women, African Americans, Mexicans, Muslims, and the disabled still did not hold him back from becoming the next president, therefore proof that racism very much is still alive, something that was discovered through the big data from Google search, but not in polls during the election. It can also help to alert to people that might be suffering, and it can lead from problems to solutions. One example would be an article from the New York Times from Dan Hurley, which talked about algorithm tells us if kids are really in danger or not. Because of the large data that screeners have to go through in order to assess a situation and see if a child is in actual danger or not, big data can help with that assessment by collecting information from different sources and then all combining it and giving a much more accurate and quicker picture on if this child is in actual danger or not than by physically trying to read through all the information. Third, big data allows to meaningfully zoom in on small segments of data sets, and that also gives then new insights. And lastly, big data can make randomized experiments and then can find causal effects to it. It's much easier to conduct because it can be done anytime, anywhere, because it is online. Another example for that would be an article by Bernard Marr, which discusses how big data helps to tackle the number one cause of accidental death due to overdose. And it's a big health crisis in everywhere in the US, but by using big data, analysts can quickly find different factors that seem to be in common for people who might be more in danger of developing an abuse problem. And different traceable behaviors were also being able to be discovered during the use of big data, which then can also help how to address a problem and work against it more effectively. So big data is important, is relevant, and serves as a pool of information to not only businesses to use towards gearing their products towards their customers, but also to learn more about human behavior, what drives us, and the truth that might only come out during online interaction and not in person. Thank you for your time.